Friday edition of Studio 12 from the south end zone of Kyle Field. Will Johnson, Matt Simon with you. As always, we begin Friday in the red zone. I got a red pin here for this today.
Is there a better place to begin a Friday than the red zone?
Well,
I don't think so.
If you're on offense,
I know not.
Yeah.
There can't be.
He knows not a spot.
He's speaking poetically Shakespearean. I know not, and I think that's because of his guest that's here today. The guy they call London. Were you trying to do that? Were you trying to go European with it or something?
I'm just trying to class it up a little bit.
Well,
appreciate that.
I mean, the bar's set low on classiness when you join Matt Simon and I. All you got to do is show up, Connor, and it classes up the joint.
That is true. I have heard that from a lot of people, both inside and outside of the 12-man production studio.
I also didn't get the gray shirt memo. I'm kind of feeling a little left out here.
Well, you see what it is this is the first time all year that it's been below 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And at TAMU Equipment has only given us one long sleeve garment this year. So if they happen to be listening, maybe this would be a good time to, extend our other, cold weather gear because it's 57 degrees outside and little guys like me are freezing.
I'm loving this weather.
Well, yeah.
It feels just like New Jersey.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is shorts weather in New
Jersey. London. But we usually have Connor introduce his guest, and I think by now we've dropped the name London twice, but Connor, we will let you do the honors here as usual.
None other than Jermaine Eluemunor, the
The
London
applause,
in the building.
Now we ask everybody that comes here, Jermaine. Is this something that the guys fight over to try to get on the show, or is it kind of like, man, Jermaine, help me out, man. I need somebody to come on the show this week, and you're like, okay, I'll help you out.
I saw the show and I didn't want to say nothing. I was just hoping, I was cool enough to get on it. So, I'm guessing that I'm pretty cool.
Hard work pays off, kid.
Right,
For the radio audience, Connor's just sitting over there beaming with a big smile on his face.
I thought the line would get a little longer since Sam Kahn plugged the show on ESPN.com last week. And I think he referred to Connor as a rock star. Is that correct?
Well, there's a reason that we have a lock on the door of the outside of the studio.
It's a heavily fortified.
We can't. It's not like
we
can't afford to have a studio audience here. That just causes too much distraction and game prep and everything. We don't really want to get caught up in all that.
Holly Rowe before the Arkansas game told me she watched the show.
She watched the Red Zone.
So
she said she loves the Red Zone. I think was her word.
Great lady.
Yeah.
Great taste in radio.
Great lady.
It is big time.
So Jermaine is now the distinguished guest of the day. And I'm glad you brought Jermaine because I think your backstory is pretty fascinating. And I think by now everybody's aware of the term London that they use with you. Till you were 14, lived in the UK. I think you said 20 minutes outside of London, correct? Yep. Just life growing up in Europe. And I guess it would have pretty much been without football growing up in the UK.
I was a soccer player from when I was about 3 to about 10, and I just outgrew the sport physically and mentally.
He dropped the mentally in.
People send complaints to.
Yeah.
There was a time where
our head soccer coach, G. Guerrero, is a guest on this show later. So
he was trying to recruit him a few days ago.
Exactly.
I just, I got a bit too violent for the sport. And, they like throwing yellow and red cards out all the time back in London. So I was trying to find a sport where I could actually hit someone and get away with it. And I got into rugby. And so I was playing rugby for a little bit. I was on a League One team that was about to go to the Premiership. That I think's in the Premiership now, the London Scottish. And then I was flipping through my TV, and I saw the New England Patriots, I think it was the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins, and it was back when Chad Pennington was playing. And I saw the bright colors and everyone hitting each other real hard, and I was like,
You said that's for me.
Yeah, I said that's for me. And I'm a big guy, want to hit someone and get away with it. So, I tried it, but back in London, you have to be over 18 in order to hit. And so they had me playing flag football, and that just wasn't for me. So went back to rugby.
How old were you when you saw this Giants-Dolphins game? About 10 to 12 years old maybe?
I think I was about 12 years old. Because it was back, I think it was like Eli Manning's third year in the NFL maybe. third, fourth year. And, I mean, Chad Pennington's not playing anymore, so it was a while back.
Yeah.
And it was at Wembley Stadium, too, so I live about 30 minutes away from Wembley. So, I mean, I didn't know about it, but, it's just flipping through the TV, seeing that, and you're just like, huh. So that's how I really got into it.
I wonder if Connor can remember the first football game he ever watched. The Americanized young man here.
Well, I know I came to my first A&M game when I was like probably 6 months old.
Really?
So
you don't remember that
I
one?
don't recall.
Yeah.
But I can't even remember
6
the
months,
first game.
Probably
I
still
remember,
barking
but
at officials back then, huh?
just barking at
It was like
everything.
more of a cry then, but
I mean,
yeah.
not more of a directed bark, more of like a small dog that is very protective of its backyard.
A Chihuahua.
that barks at everything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like a leaf. The leaf falls down and it bark. Like we're barking at that leaf. Get at it.
There's
We're
one
protective.
There's one lives across the street from
You
me.
tell that leaf that you're in my house. Yeah.
The leaf knows.
As Jermaine said, the red Chihuahua there.
That's a Chihuahua.
Been called worse.
Yeah, he's fine with that. He's fine with that. Also, Jermaine, though, once you got to the States, high school was in New Jersey. I think at Denville High School in New Jersey. You were a wrestler.
Yep.
So you went from soccer to rugby, and then you get to the States. And tell us about the background as a wrestler in high school.
So I was playing football, and it was the winter, and I was trying to go out for basketball. And the wrestling coach told me, he's like, "What you doing?" I was like, "Going out for basketball." He's like, "You're too big for that." And I think he was trying to say that I was like too chubby for that. I don't know. I had a 6-pack back then, so I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey, try wrestling. I think you'll like it." And I'm just like this 14-year-old kid who likes to hit people, and I wasn't too good at basketball. I just wanted to try it because I watch it all the time. But so I went out for wrestling, and it was kind of shaky because me and my dad were going back and forth from London to New Jersey just because my mother, little brother, little sister, and big sister used to live there. Mm-hmm. So we were going back and forth trying to figure out if we really wanted to stay here or not. So my sophomore year, I didn't really wrestle too much, but then my junior year, I got put on the varsity team, and I went 17 and 13 and made it to the regionals. And then I got knocked out by the number 1 ranked wrestler in the country who was wrestling at Rutgers. And then my senior year, I went 34 and 3, because I made a promise to my coach I'd make it to the state finals because we watched the state finals together. And I was like, I'm going to make it. And he's like, "You sure about that?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to make it." He's like, that's a tough promise to keep. He's like, I'm like, I'm going to try. And so he brought in DJ Russo, a wrestler. He used to wrestle at Rutgers, who was a very flexible person because I remember trying to take him down, and I picked his leg up, and he did the split from midair. So I was,
That'd be Connor's move
Yeah.
if you wrestled him.
I think I just pulled a muscle thinking about that. That's not good.
But you did make the state finals your senior year.
Yeah, I made it all the way. It's funny because every single match I lost, the 4 matches I lost were all in tournament finals. My first tournament, it was a Morris Knowles tournament in my high school. I lost in the finals. The regional final, I lost in that. The county final, I lost in that. And then the state final, I lost in that. But the funny thing is, in the semifinals, it was me versus the guy I lost to twice that year. So I was the same guy in the county final and the regional final. And the regional final, I was getting this close to beat him. It's just that I made a mistake, and he flipped me and put me on my back. So I was hoping it was going to be him making the state finals because I knew if it was him, then I was going to beat him. But it happened to be a short 5'11", I think 5'8", actually. Big 5'8", 290-pounder because the weight limit is 285, but you had a 5-pound allowance. So he's 290 pounds. And it's back in my prime. I'm 245.
With the 6-pack, probably, yeah.
With the 6-pack, I can pull up a
We're
picture.
going to need picture evidence of that.
Yeah.
I could get the picture, It's
right.
like,
All right.
Singlets
Let's
are really
see.
tight, so you see the abs, So, so I'm 245, he's 290, and I end up losing that match 3-1. But, I mean, I was the first state finalist in 38 years of my high school. Mm-hmm. So that was a really fun accomplishment that I look back to that really, helped me become the person I am today.
Were you a multi-sport athlete growing up, man, or were you just football, Connor?
No, I was big time baseball all throughout my life in high school. Played basketball up until high school, and then, I realized that I hit my basketball pinnacle
You
of
guys stopped
athleticism.
basketball for different reasons.
Right. We won we won district on B team in like 7th and 8th grade, and after that I was like, you know what? This is
Hey, go out a champion, man.
Oh, I know. You got to.
Yeah.
I did
So-
try for lacrosse too.
Yeah.
That was
Lacrosse. There you go.
That
was,
looks intense.
That was not the funnest thing.
Yeah.
I regret that actually. Because the tryout was you had to run 3.5 miles in under 18 minutes.
Yeah, I would have saw that on a flyer. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was a very cocky 14-year-old. I could do it, and
Yes,
I got rude awakening.
Yeah,
Now we
growing
see
up-
why London was an offensive lineman, because he's like me. He's like, what position can I play where I have to run the least? That one.
I was
That's what
gonna
I'm
play
going to do.
defensive lineman coming out of high school.
Were you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If I was gonna play,
You can
D
run
tackle.
some. You can run in spurts on that side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then I saw that little drill where you have to run off to the running back, and
Yeah, pursuit drill would just get me every time.
it's
No
just way
way.
too much running for me. Way too much running.
We've got Connor McQueen and Jermaine Eluemunor with us in the Red Zone on this Friday edition of Studio 12. Glad you are with us as well. And we've kind of talked about Jermaine's past, and now we move it on to the present. Texas A&M 7-2, looking forward to a contest on Saturday night against the Ole Miss Rebels. Good to be back here at Kyle Field in the final 3 games right here at home in College Station. I know the team likes that. Connor, before we get to Ole Miss, just your assessment of the last one. I know that's a difficult defeat to take last Saturday in Starkville to the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Right, and I just think we kind of came out and, we were ready to play, but then, they jumped up on us early. And I think for the first time this year, there was a little bit of, I guess you could say we got a little frazzled at one point to where we were kind of looking at each other like, all right, who's going to step up and make a play? And, that's not really how you want to look at it in hindsight. You want to look at it just, taking it one drive at a time, because you can't score 27 or 21 points on one drive. You can only score 7 points on one drive. So, you just got to take it one play at a time, one drive at a time. And I think we kind of got ahead of ourselves a little bit there, especially in the second quarter, until Christian had his punt return, which, kept us in it. And then we just kind of continued to press a little bit. And then near the end of the game, they kind of dominated time of possession in the fourth quarter, where they had that 7.5-minute drive and really milked the clock and went up 14 late.
Mm-hmm. And Jermaine, just the mentality of a team, of this team, not a team, this team in particular, after a defeat, you guys live in that world where you're kind of on to the next. It's Thursday, Friday, late this week. Is the loss behind you guys now? When do you move on from it and say, look, Ole Miss is coming to town now?
Well, I mean, me personally, I moved on. I watched the film on Sunday, so what we did wrong as a team, so I did wrong as a person and player. And then came in on Monday and just moved on, because if you bring that loss with you to the next week, it's going to affect how you play. So I think as a team, we've done a great job, putting that behind us. We know the mistakes we made. We know what we did wrong, and we know what we got to do against Ole Miss to come out with the win.
And, Connor, I wanted to throw this at you, too, because take somebody like Matt Simon and I and the fan. We get caught up in the fact that we saw A&M number 4 in this playoff poll going into the game. That's almost like a big deal to us. But we also talked, Matt and I, on this show Wednesday, when we watched the team practice, when we watched you travel to Starkville, this didn't look like a team that was caught up in that kind of business. It really was a team that looked like, all right, Saturday, Mississippi State, we don't care what numbers are in front of our teams. It didn't seem like that really affected this team at all.
No, I mean, when it comes down to it, those numbers don't matter at all until the regular season's over, because, teams are going to get mixed and matched and puzzle pieces are going to be moved around. But, it's not all going to sort out until the end of the year. And that's what we've really been trying to focus on. And I don't think that played really any part into what we were doing last week. It was just, we got a little frazzled. And, it seemed like we weren't having fun. At one point, there wasn't that kind of excitement on the sidelines that we usually have, and that we're looking to bring back. And I think that we really just got to continue to go one week at a time, and not really look at the big picture, and just really hone in on what we need to do each and every week.
Connor McQueen and Jermaine Eluemunor with us here on the Red Zone, the Friday edition of Studio 12. Connor, I wanted to ask you, both of your rooms were hit hard by injuries on Saturday, actually on the same play, where both of your guys went down. But Coach Sumlin has preached as long as he's been here. He doesn't harp on injuries. It's the next guy, step up,
Right.
be ready to go. And kind of talk about how you guys have dealt with that, and how excited you are to get back out on the field as you move forward.
And that's one thing that we take pride in as a team is that we talked about in the offseason, that we're going to set a standard for the way that we play. And each and every week we want to either play to that standard or raise that standard. And if one guy goes out, the next guy up is expected to play at that standard. We're not going to cut you some slack, say, oh, you haven't gotten as many reps in practice and things like that. You haven't been working with these guys. Like in Jermaine's case, like some of the offensive linemen are getting put in different places with injuries, and they haven't played with those guys as much. But that's not an excuse. We're not going to hold them to a lesser standard. We expect that same level of performance with whoever steps out from those lines.
To add on to that, Connor Lanfear, like everyone knows, he's out for the year now. He did a great job this year. He came in, did what he had to do. He played great games. It was real fun playing next to him, And I know he's going to have a great career here at A&M. But in that room, we have plenty of talent and plenty of people that could play right now. So, and we have one of the best O-line coaches in the country. So I know that he's going to get us prepared. And, wherever he ends up doing with us, I know that it's the right thing to do, whether that's me sliding into guard or me playing right tackle and someone else playing guard or me moving into another position, wherever he says we have to do, we'll do, because, like Connor said, next man up, but everyone in that room is ready to play. So whoever steps up is the person that we're going to play with.
And two, I think on the offensive line, it's it's kind of a hidden position on the field because unless you're really watching it, you're maybe not watching personnel changes and things like that. Mm-hmm. You guys have, over the course of the year, you've mixed and matched over there. You've played some different roles and things. So some of the things we may see going forward, it's not like you're thrown into a completely new position.
Yeah, with me personally, I played guard in the New Mexico State game, then I slotted back out to tackle for the Mississippi State game, and then if I have to slide back in the guard for the Ole Miss game, then that's fine with me. And then whoever plays right tackle plays right tackle. But I know that whoever plays right tackle is going to be well suited for it because I've played it before, so I can help them out. But then also they have the experience too, and Coach Turner will definitely get them ready for the game.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Turner. Almost both of you, because you're both on offense, and Coach Turner seems kind of like a Connor McQueen type guy. He's vocal, but just life with Coach Turner over there on the offensive side.
It's pretty cool, and I remember one of my first interactions with him, and just watching him during training camp. That it seemed like every single day our offensive line looked different. He was moving guys at all different positions, just so they could kind of have that exposure, because over the course of a regular season, injuries are going to occur and changes are going to be made with personnel. So just to give everybody an opportunity to play each and every position really prepares those guys. Like Jermaine was saying, if you're going to have to shift in or shift out, move to the other side, it really helps you kind of see and get a grasp of everything. But, him is just, as a person and being outgoing, it's awesome to be around, because you always can tell that he has everybody's complete, full, undivided attention whenever he's talking. Mm-hmm. It's because he almost demands it in the way that he portrays himself and the way that he talks, the way that he communicates. It's pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, with me, I was slated to play right guard at the beginning of the season. Then he came up to me one day and was like, "Hey, London, can you play right tackle?" I said, "Yeah, I could." And I played in JUCO. He's like, "Ah, good, because you practicing the right tackle today." And I'm just like,
okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I ain't played right tackle in 2 years, but Coach Turner gives you he came in and gave me a new life. I was here for 2 years, didn't really get it going. I was redshirted my first year, and last year it didn't go my way, and then he came and just gave me a new life. Really put confidence into me that gave me the confidence and skill to play right tackle. Because that's not an easy position to play in the SEC, going against some of the best pass rushers in the country. The best. Not sure I take that back. The best pass rushers in the country. Miles and Data and the Alabama DNs and the Tennessee DNs, and they're just going against really athletic people who you're probably going to see in the NFL really soon. So, Coach Turner came and just helped us all out and just gave us a new life.
And along those lines, I wanted to mention this because people that don't get to see Jim Turner work, we say vocal. And he'll raise his voice out there. But what people may not get to see, and you can explain it as good as anybody, Jermaine, he is such a technique-driven individual. He is down to the inch on what you guys need to do.
Unbelievable.
He is. He will lay on the floor and literally watch your feet, and it's like if your toes out of place or something, just
Oh, he was
get back.
laying on the ground yesterday during practice. Actually, we were doing quarterback individual drills, and we got done, about 90 seconds early. So we're kind of standing around talking, and I look over there, and they have bag. They just are doing bag drills, and Coach Turner is laying with his not laying on the ground. He's laying down with his cheek in the grass, getting blade level there, getting grass blade level to check where their cleats were getting into the ground at.
He cracks me up during the games because, I'm down there by Will. We're in the bench here. You're playing, so you may not notice it. He doesn't really watch the game. He's focused on the video board.
Yeah.
And
he
he's
watches
watching
the Jumbotron.
He's watching the Jumbotron and talking to the guys in the booth, and he makes on-the-fly adjustments. There's a point during the game where he pulled, I think it was Mazzoni, over and said, hey, this, and this. I think this will work because he's almost like live watching film.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating because that's how he gets the best look, I'm sure,
Right.
at technique. I thought you were going to do the Boston accent earlier when you were talking about Coach Turner.
It's hard because I have an English accent mixed with a New Jersey accent mixed with a Texan accent apparently. So
This is going on air, so I don't know. I'm sure Coach Turner has better things to do than watch
no, trust me. If
listen
he
to
hears
the
it
Red
on
Zone.
this, he's probably gonna take the time out of the day to watch this, and
Right, so
Hey, he's going to critique you on this.
right,
I
I don't want him to
He will.
critique me on my accent either. So.
He's going to start the meeting. He's like, hey, guys, you see London on that show earlier today, guys?
I'm sure he'll pull up a clip from it.
Yeah.
Just make fun of me.
Yeah,
for
you're
it.
not enunciating London. Here's what you got to do. I remember at coaches' night this summer in Fort Worth, Noel Mazzoni and John Chavis had to go in place of Coach Sumlin because he had a different obligation that night, and Mazzoni was up in front of the crowd in Fort Worth and described Jim Turner. He asked the crowd, have you ever seen the movie Ted? Well, Jim Turner's the little bear that talks trash all the time. That's how he explained it.
I love it.
I can nor disagree or agree with that.
You'll go neutral with that.
You don't want to be doing them extra drills there. I have one quick question for you, Connor, before we let you go. With Jake now taking over the reins, I know how close you guys are in that quarterback room. I know how close you are to Jake. Same thing with you, London. How proud were you of his effort out there Saturday in Starkville, and how excited are you to see him take the reins and move this team forward here these next 3 weeks?
I mean, it was awesome to get to see him have a chance out there to perform with the ones and in crucial situations. And I think he did a great job, especially in the fourth quarter. I think it was upwards of I guess that was against the blitz. 6 for 9 with 2 touchdowns, over 150 yards, just in that certain scenarios when he's under pressure. And he gave us a shot to win the game at the end, which is really all you can ask for. And going forward, I think he's going to benefit from getting more and more reps in practice, and it's all about the quarterback position. It's a confidence position, as many other things in sports. But I think you get in your groove and you start to get in a rhythm and everything, and you start feeling more comfortable with the guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing Jake get that opportunity to feel more comfortable out there on the field and see what he can do.